Welcome to the mighty kingdom of Persia, the greatest empire of its time, a land of power, wealth, and splendor, where kings rule from golden thrones and vast cities stretch beyond the horizon. At the heart of this empire stands the grand palace of King Xerxes, a place of royal feasts, great decisions, and untold stories waiting to unfold. In the city of Susa, a kind and humble girl named Hadassah lived with her wise cousin Mordecai. She never imagined she would become queen one day. She was orphaned at a young age, but her wise and loving cousin Mordecai raised her as his own daughter. Hadassah grew into a beautiful, graceful, and intelligent young woman, but little did she know that God had a special plan for her life, one that would require great courage. Hadassah, meaning myrtle tree, symbolized peace and righteousness. In the palace, she was renamed Esther, meaning star, symbolizing her future as a guiding light for her people. One day, King Xerxes, ruler of Persia, decided to search for a new queen. His previous queen, Vashti, had refused to obey his command, and he removed her from the throne. He ordered his messengers to gather the most beautiful young women from all over the empire to come to his palace. They would go through months of beauty treatments, and from among them, the king would choose a new queen. When the royal messengers arrived in Susa, Esther was taken to the palace along with other young women. Before she left, Mordecai advised her, "Do not tell anyone that you are Jewish. Just trust in God and be wise." Esther obeyed and kept her identity a secret. At the palace, Esther was placed under the care of Haggai, the chief servant in charge of the women. He was immediately impressed by Esther's beauty and gentle nature. He gave her the best food, the finest beauty treatments, and the best place to stay in the royal quarters. When it was Esther's turn to meet the king, she didn't demand luxurious clothes or extravagant jewelry like the other women. She simply trusted in God. And when King Xerxes saw her, he was captivated by her beauty, grace, and wisdom. He placed the royal crown upon her head and declared her Queen of Persia. Even as queen, Esther remained close to Mordecai, who often sat near the palace gates. One day, he overheard two palace guards plotting to kill King Xerxes. Mordecai quickly sent a message to Esther, who told the king in Mordecai's name. The guards were caught and punished, and Mordecai's name was written in the royal records for his loyalty. Though this act would later prove important, for now, Mordecai remained just another humble citizen. But God was preparing something greater. Meanwhile, King Xerxes appointed a powerful official named Haman as his highest advisor. Haman was proud and expected everyone to bow before him in respect. But when he walked through the city gates, Mordecai refused to bow. "I only bow before God," he declared. Haman was furious. When he learned that Mordecai was a Jew, his anger grew even more. He plotted not only to punish Mordecai, but to destroy all the Jewish people in the kingdom. He went to King Xerxes and lied, saying, "There are people in your kingdom who do not obey your laws. It would be best to get rid of them." The king, unaware of Haman's true intentions, agreed and signed a decree ordering that all Jews be killed on a specific date. Once the decree was sent throughout the kingdom, there was great mourning among the Jews. Mordecai tore his clothes, covered himself in ashes, and cried out to God. Esther's dilemma. When Esther heard about the decree and saw Mordecai mourning, she was deeply troubled. She sent messengers to ask what was wrong, and Mordecai replied, "You must go to the king and plead for your people." Esther hesitated. "I cannot go to the king without being summoned. If I do, I could be put to death," she replied. Mordecai sent back a powerful message. "Do not think that because you are in the palace you will escape. If you remain silent, help will come from somewhere else." But who knows? Maybe God has placed you as queen for such a time as this." Esther was shaken. She knew Mordecai was right. Finally, she made a decision. "Gather all the Jews and ask them to fast and pray for 3 days. I will do the same. Then I will go to the king. And if I perish, I perish." Esther's brave decision. On the 3rd day, Esther put on her royal robes and approached the throne room. Would the king be angry? Would he have her punished? As she stepped inside, King Xerxes looked up. He saw his beautiful queen standing there. Would he turn her away? Instead, he held out his golden scepter, a sign of mercy. "What is your request, my queen? Even up to half the kingdom, it will be given to you." Esther did not rush. Instead, she invited the king and Haman to a banquet that night. The king agreed, and Haman was delighted to be honored. But that evening, Esther still did not reveal her request. Instead, she invited them to another banquet the next day. Haman, proud and arrogant, left the palace in high spirits. Haman's wife and friends advised him to build a gallows and asked the king to hang Mordecai. Pleased with the idea, Haman ordered the gallows to be built immediately. Meanwhile, that same night, the king could not sleep. He asked for the royal records to be read to him. As the servants read, the king was reminded of how Mordecai had saved his life by exposing the palace guard's plot. "What reward was given to this man?" the king asked. "None, my king," the servants replied. At that moment, Haman arrived to request Mordecai's execution. Before he could speak, the king asked, "What should be done for a man the king wishes to honor?" Thinking the king meant him, Haman suggested dressing the man in royal robes, placing him on the king's horse, and parading him through the city, shouting, "This is what is done for the man the king delights to honor. Do this for Mordecai the Jew." Haman was horrified, but he had no choice but to obey. At the 12th banquet, Esther revealed Haman's plot. "This wicked man wants to destroy my people," she declared. The king was furious and ordered Haman to be taken away. His evil plan had failed. Victory for the Jews. King Xerxes issued a new decree, written by Mordecai, allowing the Jews to defend themselves. With God's help, they were saved from their enemies. Jewish people celebrated their deliverance with a feast called Purim, remembering how God used Esther to save them. They rejoiced, shared food and exchanged gifts in thanksgiving for God's protection. Queen Esther had risked her life, and because of her faith and courage, God's people were saved. She truly was Esther the brave queen. Because of Esther's courage and faith, God saved his people. Peace filled the land, and the city of Persia stood in the golden sunlight, a reminder of God's greatness and faithfulness.